Hello and welcome to the CTM NewsBreak, where we keep you up to date on what's happening right here in town. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel. Senator Mike Barrett presented a climate change forum at the Chelmsford Library. In January, he introduced a plan for Massachusetts to become net neutral in carbon emissions by 2050.
The Senate bill addresses the question for Massachusetts: how in Chelmsford and in Lexington and in Lowell and in Lawrence and Cambridge and Boston are we going to make all the electricity clean, use it to drive cars and trucks, use it to heat buildings, and make all of it tight as a drum in terms of energy efficiency.
The bill's passage in the House is not assured. Barrett says our representatives need to have support from local voters.
Surprisingly important for me to hear from my constituents and from members of the House of Representatives to hear from theirs. It really does make a difference. Even when we agree with our constituents, the encouragement redoubles our energy. And in cases where we're not entirely sold on something like the importance of climate legislation, being lobbied by constituents who are concerned can make all the difference in the world.
In other news, a number of local volunteers all rolled up their sleeves and took on the huge task for starting to clear invasive plants. And it was all to clear the way for a new accessible outdoor space.
Today we're starting a project that's been 6 years in the making. We're at the Russell Mill parking lot, and behind us you can see nothing but a massive bittersweet. And beyond the bittersweet, there is the old mill, which is one of Chelmsford's gems. The idea that was spawned 6 years ago when the town purchased the property was to add in a road so we can get into the old mill easily with ADA, allowed to put a dock in, and it's been expanded to include a nature park with nature flowers. And that will all be completed before May.
We come in and try to do as much as we can to help out for all the multi-use trails, not just mountain biking. Even in this case where it's not officially part of my chapter, but I still come down and help out because I do ride Russell Mill and love riding these trails, so I'm glad to help out.
Got a nice new area for the people of Chelmsford.
People from all over the area were at the McCarthy School for the 2020 Northeast Regional Yoga Championship, hosted by the Hot Yoga Factory from Chelmsford.
They do a 3-minute yoga routine, which is 6 postures, and they have to hold the posture in stillness and breathe normal for a count of 5 seconds to receive a full score. The postures is not like, think about like a gymnastics routine or figure skating. The athletes are judged on how they execute the posture, their poise, their grace, their athleticism, and the technical merit.
And finally, there's a lot of fun ways to get out and enjoy winter weather, but this Chelmsford student was chosen to go on an unusual adventure with an invite to an Olympic training camp. 10-year-old Calista Ferrara made the trip to Lake Placid, New York for the USA Olympic Luge screening and training camp.
It was so cold, even in the car. It was super freezing.
There were some big challenges for a small girl.
My mom had to leave me there, and I had to be there by myself. I think it was about 3 or 4 runs we had. Before we went down, they'd give us a couple seconds and they'd review it with us like we went on the sled, and they'd show us, they'd make sure we knew how to go right, and they'd make sure we knew how to go left. And it was really fun going down the track. The only thing was, though, that it was like 30 miles per hour. And it was really cold because our faces, we had them in the helmets, so we couldn't really wear hats because we had the helmets on, so the wind was blowing at your face when you were going down. When we got to the end of the track, there was some people who would stop us, or else we would go backwards. So they jumped out and they had to stop us, and then we had to carry our sleds into the truck. People helped us, but it was hard to carry them because they were pretty heavy. Had to be heavy enough that they wouldn't slide down the track too fast.
Thanks for watching the CTM NewsBreak, brought to you by Chelmsford Telemedia. If you have news we could use, contact us at newsbreak@chelmsfordtv.org. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel.